Hello and welcome to our second Original Artist Series. Today is August the 1st, 2020, and I'm so excited. Last week we had Chocolatina and Lavinia, and they were so funny. I'm still getting so many compliments. And this week we also have some incredible talent. So I do want to just thank everyone for tuning in. It means so much to me, and I've gotten a lot of great feedback, and we're just gonna keep on, and I'm having lots of fun doing it. So please accept my gratitude. Now tonight we have two very special guests. So I'm gonna say 17-ish years ago, I met this young woman at the Duplex Piano Bar where I was working, and she is a very dear friend of my very good friend and music director, Robbie Stamper. So I'll never forget how kind she was. And then fast forward to last year, they did a show at the Stonewall. So tonight you're meeting not one but two very special guests, and her dance partner who's joining us tonight. I just met him a year ago, but he is super sweet and talented and a gem as well. So at this time, I'd like to welcome to our stage Kristine Bendul and Abdiel Jacobsen. Hi guys, how are you?
Hi Melissa.
Hi Melissa.
So what's going on? What's happening right now?
I'm in the dark. I'm the light. There, let there be light.
You look so fabulous, Melissa, by the way. Oh my gosh. You have the full
I needed a reason to put makeup on at least once a week. So I think this is it for sure. So before we start with our amazing lineup of questions, I'm gonna say, where are you guys? Abdiel, where are you right now?
Oh my goodness, it's a funny story. So I live in New York City. I'm actually in Harlem with Kristine. We're practically neighbors. I would walk to her apartment. Yes. So it's weird because I was here. I was in the West Coast in the Bay Area for a hustle dance event. And it literally was during the week of full COVID shutdown. Yeah, so my flight was canceled and I ended up not being able to get back home. And so I was advised just to stay put. So I ended up renting a car and driving down to my best friend's house in Southern California. And so I'm now here in LA, and I've been in LA since March 15th.
Fun. That's so fun. Well, I'm glad it's going well and you're safe there. And Kristine, you're still in Manhattan?
Yes, my partner has flown to the West Golden Coast, and I'm in Harlem still.
I miss you.
I miss you too. Yeah, so I'm in Harlem. I've lived in Manhattan for 24 years. It was 24 years in February. I don't know how that happened, but it happened.
The years tick by. I feel the same. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's going on, 17 years now for me. So that's great. So I have lots of questions for you guys, but before we get to those, I want to talk about what's going on in the near future. So you tell everybody about your August 14th show at 9 p.m. And I'm going to put up a little banner here.
Yeah, basically, so Abdiel and I read the article about the possibility of Stonewall, the threat of it closing due to lack of business because of the COVID pandemic. And after, obviously living in the city and knowing Stonewall for so long, and then having the incredible experience of doing our show there last year, immediately I just felt compelled to help. What can I do? And I called Abdiel and I said, oh my gosh, Abby, I want to do something. I have an idea. What do you think about this? And so we had this idea to do a separate fundraiser using our voices, since we have our community of people that we know, but also wanting to reach out to many more people, that to offer an online reimagining of a show. And obviously we can't do a show now, and do one night on the anniversary of The Color Is. Last year was August 14th.
Exactly.
And so we're very excited about this, and 100% of the donations will go to benefit SIGB,
Yep.
Stonewall and Gives Back initiative. And so we are very on board and using our artistic voices to just help in any way that we can.
That's incredible.
Abby?
So do you want to tell everyone, so we do have some viewers, but we also, this will be shared after the fact. So I put it in the ticker below, but tell them how they can get the link to come to your show.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, so it's very simple. So as you can see in the banner below, you just go to the GoFundMe link and you donate. And no matter how small, no matter how big you donate, you will get a link to see the show. So send that donation in, and that's your ticket.
Amazing, amazing.
And may I just add, because there is another campaign for Stonewall itself. We started a separate one so that we can keep track of who donates, so that we can send exact, via email the YouTube link. So don't be confused, because there is more than one GoFundMe link for Stonewall. Ours specifically says The Color Is.
Right. Now let's talk a little bit about The Color Is, and also I want to hear more about your dance company, and then we're going to go to our lineup of questions, because I have so many questions. So this is your dance company. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah. So Transcendence is a multimedia production and talent management group that Kristine and I co-founded with our partner, Brian Rubiano. And we're all performers. We all have experienced the stage and the magic of the lights and live theater. But we've all had such, diverse experiences through that journey. And we all came together, basically, Brian was a friend of mine that I had worked with in the theater company, and I had met Kristine, and then I was telling Brian about Kristine and what we've been doing with Hustle, and then he saw us compete last year at a Hustle event, and it was called Disco America. And Disco America is one of the big, Hustle events in the country, and Kristine and I, we won first place in
We're going to see a video in a second too.
Yes. And so anyways, long story short, it was like love at first sight for all of us. Like when I met Kristine, we were just like, oh my gosh, we have to work together. And then when Brian met Kristine too, it was like, oh my gosh, we all have to work together. It was just magic. And so we wanted to basically create a platform specifically for artists who are sort of on the, how would you say, the more pushing of boundaries. Right, because we as artists ourselves, we very much are pushing boundaries with our work and our artwork. So we wanted to provide that. Yeah.
That's so great. I love it so much, and I love the name. I love how you spell it. I love everything about it. So going backwards a little bit. So a year ago, on the 14th, you did a show at Stonewall, and I was there. I went with my wife and my friend John Bronston. I think we all spoke after Kristine. I remember in the back. We were planning his wedding, so we had like a little wedding plan. And then we came to your show, and he actually knew the lead singer, I think.
Oh, really? Yes.
But it was just so wonderful and so magical, and the way you used the space, with using the floor, it was so beautiful. Do you want to just give some highlights about what they're going to see on the 14th, or what they missed last year?
Sure. So it's really incredible. Abdiel has this amazing mentor that he knew from his days doing ballroom, and she has a production company. And there was originally supposed to be a different show at Stonewall, and then that didn't happen. But she knew our partnership. We were really starting to accelerate, and she said, "I would really love to give you guys the space to create something to help promote you guys, to help promote your company, and you can put up your own production there." And we thought, oh my gosh, how generous is that? So, but the challenge was, okay, it's a show about us. And it's a show we were told to honor the main sponsor of the evening was True Colors Cava. So we were told to honor the sponsor. And then we also knew with the big 50-year anniversary of the Stonewall riots, celebrating 50 years of gay pride, that we wanted to clearly incorporate that into the storyline. So it's like taking a banana peel and a car and a football. Let's make a show. You know? Like,
I love that. I love that concept.
So we did some research. I looked up True Colors. I thought, well, let me first start with the sponsor. What can I learn about them? And it's an incredible company that is formed. It's in Sweden, and it's called Altea. So we decided to set the whole second floor space as this mystical club, Altea. And the amazing thing with True Colors, if people don't know, is that they donate 20 kronig for every bottle sold to the LGBTQ community over in Europe.
Beautiful.
It's so incredible. And so I love the fact that it's just so supportive. And their slogan is actually, love is social and sparkling. And we are social dancers, we're hustle dancers. So I thought, ooh, we could take a spin on this and incorporate that into the storyline. So we did a little spin, and we said, life is sparkling and social. And so the host of the evening, once you go to the second floor space, anything can happen. He tells the bartender to open the bottle, and we promoted the show so that everyone, it's about celebrating your true colors and being unafraid to explore your true colors. So even in the advertisement was, come wearing your boldest colors. So everyone we knew would be in some fabulous, colorful outfit. We purposefully knew that, so we went in black, and we portrayed an older version of who we were before we discovered hustle, and how expressive it is, and what it enabled us to discover within ourselves and artistically. And basically through the journey, we get taken through this journey to finally discover our true colors. I don't want to give too much away, but is there anything else you'd like to add, Abby?
Yeah, no, you pretty much hit it. That's it. And we also, one thing I think that's really important for people to know, we wanted to include people actually in the hustle community that has supported us and really had opened our mind to these diverse and inclusive spaces that still exist. In particular to partner dancing, ballroom dancing. And so we half of our cast are hustle dancers, and they know hustle, and we're so close. We're all like a family.
I love it. I was going to ask a few more questions, but I think now would be a good time to show one of your videos. I don't know. I'm like totally excited. So let's show one of your videos. And so let's do the competition. And I know both of you, we had a rehearsal, you set it up so beautifully. So if you want to set it up, we'll watch that, and then we'll get back to some more questions.
Do you want me to do a little set? Okay, so basically, a lot of people don't know what hustle is. When people hear the word hustle, they think do, which is a line. There's a line dance. But hustle is actually a beautiful partner dance. It's very sexy. It's fun. It's free. Lots of lines. And back in the days of, I don't know if you remember the show Star Search that Ed McMahon hosted, but the dancers that would go on that show do all those crazy tricks and everything. Two of them were huge hustle dancers. One ended up being many-time world champion on that show, and the other one ended up being my partner, who is sadly no longer with us. But they did all these incredible athletic tricks and lifts and whatnot. And it was very fast, and it was very athletic. And we love hustle so much, we want to bring it back into the light of which it used to be so honored and respected. And so this particular piece, we were going old school, doing the unitards and a lot of the crazy elements, the lift work and athleticism in it, but also who we are, we like to swap, lead, and follow within it. And so it's a part of our message of spreading gender equality and inclusivity through our partner dance. So
I love
that's the setup of the number, and we decided to compete this piece.
All right. So let me pop over to the YouTube. So I'm going to share my screen. And then hold on one second.
Your cats, Abby.
We are here.
Those are amazing.
You see it okay?
Don't see it.
I don't see anything either.
Sorry. Sorry, everybody. So I got to click share. That would help, right? Here we go. Can you see it now?
No.
So let me try again. Sorry, guys. Chrome has lost permission to capture your screen. Hold on. Where's my technical lady?
I think I'm having a crash.
Oh no. Hold on. I'm so sorry. This is Leonie, what happened?
Should I tell a joke?
No. I'm using Leonie's computer.
I could tell a joke while you do your technical thing if you'd like.
Tell a joke. I don't know what's happening. Leonie, come here. Leonie, I need your help. Okay, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna leave the screen and I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna pop over to my other computer because it was working on there. And so let's start with Abdiel. So my question is, when did you know that dance was your future? And what is your first momentous moment where you knew that this was your life's path? So I'm gonna leave you to it, and then I'll be right back.
Okay, that's a big question. um, okay, so I always danced as a kid. Actually, it's very similar to how we're doing right now with COVID, pushing aside tables, and my mom would push aside the coffee table and the couches, and we would just practice in the house. So for me, dance was always like a part of my upbringing, and I always loved dance, and I knew I was gonna dance. But I don't think it really became like a reality that it was gonna be my career or something I would actually do for work until I got my first job, and it was at an Arthur Murray ballroom dance studio in Silver Spring, Maryland at that time when my family was living. And I was a junior in high school, and that really for me, teaching people to dance and also performance and like being exposed to this way of sharing my joy for dance, I was like, I want to continue doing this. So I went to the University of Arts. I got my BFA in dance, and it was in the when I was a junior in university that I discovered Martha Graham. And once I discovered Martha Graham and I was able to perform one of her works, that was for me that momentous moment where I knew I wanted to continue preserving this work, this philosophy, and teachings of Martha Graham. So that was it. From there, I auditioned for the company, and I got in, and I moved to New York City, and I was with the Martha Graham Company over 7 years, and yeah.
That is so amazing. So let me see which one of mine.
You need to get rid of it.
Okay, good. That's so incredible. So anyone who has studied with Martha Graham, and I just feel like just knowing that it's just so exciting.
Yeah, she was really, for me, a force of nature. And I think also historically, knowing about her legacy, what she did for a female empowerment, for diversity, and all her philosophy is about authenticity and really owning your authentic voice and sharing it. Sharing that voice with the world changed my life, and I always carry those philosophies with me now as I work with Kristine in ballroom. You can take that philosophy and teach them anywhere you go in life, even beyond art. It's just a way of.
That's so incredible. I hopped on my other computer. I think I figured it out. So let's try again. Thank you so much for everyone's patience with my non-techness over here. Okay.
No worries.
Share audio. share. Okay, and then we're gonna go over here.
Yay!
Here we go. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay! Thank you everyone so much for your patience. Okay.
Woo! Oh my gosh.
Amazing. It's incredible.
I need to put I just realized my 5G isn't on because it was skipping the whole time. Should I change it or no? Should I try?
Shoot, hold on.
Oh my goodness, you guys. So I'm just gonna stick to this other computer because, okay, here we go. Okay. So sorry about that. That's amazing. That was so incredible.
Oh my gosh, just watching that, I was like, oh my gosh, what a doozy. Because we choreographed it ourselves. And I'm like, why did we do that to ourselves? It's so
It was so good. But you
it's so fun.
technique. I mean,
Doozy.
It's so much harder than it looks. That's why, because we would always joke around with each other. We're like, why do we put everything in the kitchen sink and more like in that 3-minute?
Well, and that pirouette that you held the, what's it called? What's it called when your back leg is like
Arabesque.
arabesque? That's it.
Arms.
I mean, but you like extended it like longer. I was like,
yes.
That's
and
amazing.
we're both in high heels, which I'm watching it. I mean, I got to give props to us because we make it look good and easy. But I'm telling you, it is so much harder than it looks. Like she's supporting me, and she's in 4-inch heels, stiletto heels, and she's supporting me, and I'm in stiletto heels, 3.5, and I'm lifting her. So it's like, it's insane. We're crazy.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I love it so much. So in a little bit, we do have another video that we're going to show everybody. But part of doing original artist series as opposed to any other series is I think that where you started and your education and who inspired you, your career. So I want to do a little bit of a deep dive into your past. So Kristine, I'd like to ask you the same question I asked Abdiel. What was your defining moment in the start? And then take us through a little bit of your journey through your career. Give us some highlights or anything you wish to share.
Gosh, so it's really funny because I grew up in Emerson, New Jersey, really, really tiny town. My graduating class was only like 72 people. Everyone knew each other. There was one little local dance studio, and I had issues with my leg development when I was adopted. And so I wasn't getting the blood flow and circulation. And so I remember being in excruciating pain as a baby, as a toddler. And so I was so young, though, that physical therapy would have benefited. But the doctor said to my parents, enroll her in an activity that she's supposed to be up on her legs, running around to encourage the blood vessels to develop. And so it ended up being a local dance studio. And for me, I don't think I knew I wanted. I definitely knew I didn't know I wanted to be a dancer. My best friend, though, we went together. We were always bookends. She knew she wanted to be a dancer, and she was always the one I would look at when she was better. And I just remember when we were about 10 years old, she left the studio to go to a studio with real training because, I mean, the school was really good in tap. But I think as far as if you wanted to do anything outside of that, you needed to find a special place. So she went to a value school, and I didn't get to see her. I remember being very devastated, and it felt like years. But finally, I got to have a play date with her, and it was set up so that after school, one of my brothers dropped me off at her new dance school, several times over, and I would have to wait until her classes were done. And her dad would come get us when he was going to work, and then I get to go to the secret party. And I remember sitting there watching my best friend. And even though we're still so close today, there was always this level of competitive, and pushing each other.
Healthy competition.
And I remember seeing her, and her hair's up in a bun. She's in tights and leotard. She's doing fouettes. I had never seen that before. It's like, oh my God. And I had that thought, I have to learn how to do that and better. I remember thinking that. I didn't know ballet. Like, it was so funny. And so the timing of the universe was my, in my family, I'm one of 6 kids. The rule is we went and supported all of it. Each sibling had to go to the other siblings' things. So my brothers had to come to my recitals. I went to their games. But one of them was dating a dancer who was training at Alvin Ailey. And so she came. Her name is Lisa. And she came and she saw me. And she told my parents, she said, Kristine has real ability. She's really musical. She stands out. She has great stage presence. You should put her in an actual school. So I was just going to do this. Of course, they asked me. I remember one day they just asked me if I wanted to dance, and the only thing I could think about was Mary. So I said yes, not knowing what I was getting myself into. So anyway, I said yes, and they said okay. They didn't know what to do, so Lisa had suggested take her in for an evaluation at School of American Ballet in New York City. So now I'm 12 years old. Yes, I was 12 years old, and I remember being with all these other girls, and the first thing they do is they stand you up against the bar, and they take your leg and push it as high as it can go, like to the front, side, and back. Then they scrutinize your feet. They make you point your feet, and they're like examining you, like best in show. They're examining everything.
It's like
And-
a serious school.
And I was flexible, but then we did ballet class. Well, I didn't know ballet. So they told my dad I wasn't even good enough for the beginner ballet class. And my dad was devastated. But they said, put her in some ballet lessons and bring her back in a year or so. And so when my parents told Nisa what the response was, and we were so upset, she said, wait, they said to bring her back. She said, do you realize how many children that they audition? They don't need to bring anybody back. So they
Right.
found this ballet school in Ridgewood, New Jersey. Irene Fokine, she's the niece of the great Michael Fokine, the founding father of classical ballet, as we know it. And scary Russian woman. I mean, she would sit at the piano on her stool, like she was so scary. And I just all I
Sounds
knew
so
was
scary.
first class,
Yeah.
Sandra's, if you took ballet, you would stand at the bar and you would just kind of do as Simon Says. They would demonstrate. You just kind of followed along, play the record, and just follow along and or hold the ball, what color's your ball kind of thing. And so all I know is that the teacher comes out, all the girls are in little leotards and tights. And I was so new, so intimidating because the energy was so serious. And I took a bar closest to where the teacher would be standing, and the teacher starts demonstrating everything. And I'm doing exactly what I used to do. I follow along, and I thought, why is nobody else dancing? I don't understand. And there's no music. So I was like, this is the weirdest ballet class ever. There's no music. So I follow her the whole time to the first side. I go to turn around to the second side. The piano music starts. All the girls, it's like this militant boom. And I was like, I didn't know I was supposed to memorize anything. And I have no other memory from that class except for seeing a girl do a développé. I didn't know you could lift your leg up there without holding it with your hands. And that's my only memory. And then everything else is a blur. And then I just remember a year and a half later or so, I get brought back into New York City to audition for School of American Ballet, and I got accepted.
It's amazing.
So I went to SAB when I was 14 and 15. And that gave me training. And I think I knew I wanted to dance. I loved it. The girls were horrible to me. I didn't like that. There were so many days I was in my car crying. I was bullied so badly. But I knew when I was actually dancing, I loved it. And so I wasn't thinking career so much. It just happened to be this path that unfolded. And then when my level would accelerate the following school year, the classes would be during the day. Well, my parents were not able to afford anyway. Like my dad had to, pick me up from school, drive me into the city every day, and he didn't really have money for parking, so he'd sit in the car for hours and wait for my classes to be done. So there was no way financially to make that happen that I could continue. And they tried everything. They thought about trying to get a chauffeur, or getting me a private tutor for school, and none of it was feasible. So I ended up having to find a ballet school in New Jersey. But by this time, I was very much more accelerated. So it's like, what are the options? So I ended up going to take an evaluation class at New Jersey Ballet School. And it was a Saturday morning. Little did I know it was the company class. It was just the only class that I was available to go to. And apparently one of the new artistic directors was watching, because Edward Palella, very famous gentleman, was leaving to go to Miami City Ballet, and Leonid Kazov was coming in, who was a star with the Dancesport at the time, to take his place. And he was looking for class because he was going on tour with City Ballet and choosing a few dancers from New Jersey Ballet Company to go to Taiwan. And they're watching this class. So I don't know that. So I'm taking the class, and then afterwards, Carolyn, the executive director, she takes my dad and me to the back to see if I'd be accepted into the school. I was just going to be, see if I could be accepted into the school. And they basically offered me an apprenticeship on the spot and to join the City Ballet tour to Taiwan. I was like, oh my God, this summer, like in June, going to Taiwan. So I had to get a passport.
Amazing.
And then next thing I knew, I had a career at 15. I was dancing, and I loved the dancing. Again, I was bullied horrifically, but it made me stronger. It made me want to just the only way I could fight back was just to be better. anyway, I had several successful seasons with the New Jersey Ballet School, and then it was short-lived. At 18, my career ended. That's a whole other story for a whole other show. But I was devastated. I thought that dancing was over, and then the universe brought into my path Walt Disney World. An opportunity came up. So at 18, I moved away on my own to Orlando, Florida, and I was introduced to the world of musical theater. So much more fun, so much more money. I was loving it. Wall, being a ham, I loved it. So it was so much fun. But I would have been happy living in Florida. Which is funny. I didn't meet Robbie in Florida. I met him here in New York. But anyway, I would have been so happy staying down there. But I made a really good friend who we were attached at the hip. And so after several years, he wanted to move back to New York City. And if Carlos was going to New York City, I was going to New York City. So there was one year I ended up getting a job on a cruise ship, and I lived on the ship for 8.5 months before I moved into the city. And then I came back with the Bulls of Broadway. And I booked a European tour. I left. I lived in Berlin for half a year, came back, just totally spent all my savings, putzing around for the summer. And then finally, this is actually really cool. I ran out of money. I needed a job. I knew I could get another cruise ship gig. So I auditioned for Royal Caribbean and I got hired. And so I moved to Miami. It's December of 1995. And I'm in rehearsals. And they used to be a married couple, Mark Dow and Sherry Zucker, and huge in the Chicago dance scene. And they were the choreographers of the show. So I remember right away in the beginning, Mark on a break came over to me and said, "What are you doing here?" I said, I'm dancing. He said, "No, what are you doing here at Royal Caribbean?" I said, "I needed a job." He said, "No, you need to be in LA, Chicago, or New York City. And the minute you want out of this contract, I will get you out. But you should not be here." And I was like, oh wow. It was incredible. So anyway, I thought about it, but I was like, no, I'm happy. I love ship life. So at the end of the week, through the course of events, and things happened. A couple of things where it just didn't sit right, and I reached out to him at the end of the week, and I said, I think I want to take you up on that offer. No questions asked. He got me out of the contract. I was on a plane the next day back to New York. My friend Carlos was like, "Girl, you're moving in the city with me right now." And January of 1996, I moved into the East Village with him, and I got my first Broadway show 6 months later. And I've been in New York City since 1996 doing Broadway. And but there was always like one foot I had in the ballroom world, like in the social ballroom. Because on the cruise ship, I was doing a lot of the lift work that you saw Abby and I doing,
right?
Lift work. And then there was this person, the partner that I had met, Artie, that was on Star Search. I remember doing this Broadway benefit and seeing this beautiful dancer. Oh my gosh, and this beautiful partnering. And I knew I had to dance, like I had to do that. I had to do that. But I hadn't ever seen that kind of dancing before. And sure enough, the universe eventually brought Artie and I together, and he's like, "Come here into my world." And basically, that's kind of how I've always had one in the social ballroom world, and that's essentially how Abdiel and I met, and he brought me into the ballroom world.
That's so incredible. I can't remember what show you were doing. So before, because I have another question for both of you, actually. What is your favorite Broadway show you were ever in, and what is your highlight for television that you did?
I'm a dancer at heart, so I got to do 2 huge dance shows. They were both Twilight Art dance shows. One was Moving Out, and one was Come Fly Away, all Frank Sinatra music, all Billy Joel music. And it was like the Olympics every show. And the artistry and the encouragement, but the way Twyla worked with us.
Twyla. Wow.
The encouragement, she did encourage you not to have the same show. However, anyway, artistically, what she was able to pull out of you through whatever means necessary, I I really found myself. I really found connection with who I was.
Amazing.
So it would be a tie between moving out and come fly away, I would say, just because of the level of artistry. And then, I've had a lot of fun TV wise on the David Letterman show. I've been on the show more than once. So
Oh, fun.
yeah, that was
That's so iconic.
Yeah.
That's so great. Well, I think it's time now to ask both of you, but Abdiel, you can take it if you want. How did you two meet?
Well, we met, as Kristine said, we met at a social dance party. It was actually, I believe, in New Jersey. It's in Nutley, Nutley, New Jersey. There's a wonderful ballroom studio there. What is the name? Is it all Starlight? That's right, Starlight. So Starlight in New Jersey, and so we met at this hustle party, and we've been both hustle dancing, but like Kristine said, she kind of had her. I was going like every every week religiously, but Kristine was so busy in her projects and stuff, she would come in and out. So I had heard about Kristine before meeting her. Her reputation precedes her.
Amazing.
She's a legend. So of course, everyone was like, when they saw me dancing and they heard about me being a principal dancer with Martha Graham, because I was a principal dancer with the Martha Graham Company at the time. And they're like, oh my gosh, you have to meet Kristine. You have to meet Kristine. I'm like, where is she? Because I'm like, I usually go out in New York City, in Manhattan. But there once a month in New Jersey, in Starlight, there's this thing. So I went, and the hustle community, they're so cool because I don't have a car. So I just carpooled with them, the people who live in Manhattan, and we all took their car, and Kristine was there. So they were like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are both here! You have to dance with each other! You have to dance with each other!" So we did, and it was love at first dance, as Kristine said.
I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Love at first dance. I love it. So I have a couple more questions. So something that Kristine and I, when we had rehearsal, I know that I'm going to have Kristine take this one. What would you say have been some challenges in your career as a woman? I know there's transsectionality everywhere, but I want to know specifically how you feel challenges have occurred in your career as being a woman.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
That's good right there.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I took my earphone out because I realized it wasn't working. Okay. For me, in ballet, obviously, it was a very tough experience. But, once I started to develop up here, I became very self-conscious. I was told I was fat, I had all these issues, and I still have issues about my bosom. And then that's something that, as a woman, I remember asking my parents for a breast reduction when I was 15. My mom's crying and just all this stuff, and I said, "You don't understand. This is my dance career." So being a woman in ballet being a woman here was very challenging. Then Broadway, it was all great and dandy until I hit my 40s, and then it was like, it was like I was the smelly sock, the one smelly sock that you couldn't find the other to even wash it, and like
I love that.
And they just wanted to, like, I just felt like discarded. I felt completely not viable, and I would go to auditions, and I knew I was still having the best auditions. And finally, after decades, my voice had started finding my voice. So I knew I was singing the best I'd ever sung. And by now, so many people knew me, the choreographers, the creative teams, and they would always say, "Really good to see you, Kristine, great audition." And I would just never get hired. So I thought,
okay, infuriating.
Okay. So, ageism is very real. And then, it's really unfortunate. And then, of course, all the injuries one accumulates over the years. My first big injury was a herniated disc opening night on the Town Revival. Not the last one that my ex-husband choreographed, but the one in 1998. Opening night, the lead actor who played Gaby missed his entrance. And the only way the set was to get on stage, he was supposed to be downstage right in Wing 1 at the Gershwin, which is a huge theater, but he was on stage left in the Gershwin, and there's no pass to run behind the stage. It's like through halls, and you have to do this big maze crossover. And I was on this platform, center stage, because the whole set closes, and it was myself and the dancer who played Ivy, and there's a purple curtain, and we're doing all like, flexible laying out and bendy things. And all I remember is I'm standing upside down in a layout, and I see the purple curtain go like this, and I see this flash of white, and I just got knocked in my neck. I flipped over. Somehow he caught me in his arms. My parents were in the audience that night, and it was just devastating. I was like limp in his arms, and I ended up having a concussion and secondary scoliosis and a herniated disc.
No.
And I wanted to come back. This was my opening night, my first original Broadway cast, so I wasn't going to miss my opening night party. But by the time I got there, the party was closed, practically closing, because I had to lay backstage with ice and all the things, and I could barely function. So that was really hard. And I was in the most excruciating pain for quite a few years. And then I herniated 2 more in 2008, and I have a fully torn left hip, full labral tear, which I never opted for surgery, and I have a small tear in my right hip. So good times.
I'm see, these are things I didn't know. I'm sorry that you had to go through that, but you're still dancing gorgeously.
Well, the good thing about choreographing for yourself is you can show what you can still do, and you can say, nope, don't do that anymore. So it's funny, when Abby and I first started choreographing together, he's like, you want to go down the floor? I'm like, you can go down the floor. I love that. How about that? You know what with that?
Martha.
I love it. Speaking of choreographing for yourself, being in quarantine, I know you two miss each other very much, and I know it's really hard for both of you to be apart, but you did share with me a video of a little action being in 2 different places. Do you want to set this one up, Abdiel?
Oh yeah. So I mean, I've been telling people to myself, like, this is such a tough time for everyone. I feel in particular to partner dancing, it's like the biggest threat to this art form, because we still have our sense of sight. We can see, we can hear, we can taste and smell, but we can't touch each other. And partnering touch is inherent, and it's central, to the practice. So it's really tough to be a partner dancer in COVID and social distancing and all this. So for us and all the work we've been doing, in partner dancing, it literally just it seemed impossible. But as you just heard from Kristine, she's so resilient, and we both refuse to allow the current situation to dim our creativity or stop our mission and what we're trying to do. So we were just like, okay, here we go. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do the virtual thing, right? So, so we literally did it over Zoom. Like, no special effects, no nothing. What we did is we just okay, let's just use this screen like we're doing right now, and let's see, what we can do with it. And we wanted to do something happy, something fun and uplifting. So it was Kristine. She brought up Bill Withers, because Bill Withers actually passed due to COVID, and unfortunately, we lost so many great people. But anyways, he passed, and so Kristine brought that to light, and she's like, we should do this song. We should honor him, and we found this beautiful cover of just the 2 of us. And it's so, it's uplifting. It's about partnership, and love. So we decided we would do that, and that's what we did. We had so much fun in our living room.
Well, ladies and gentlemen who are watching, let's check it out. So I'm going to share again. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to share. Go to the YouTube. You guys see it?
Yes.
Perfect. And here we go.
See the crystal raindrops fall, and the beauty of it all is when the sun shines through. To make those rainbows in my mind, when I think of you sometime, I will spend some time with you. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us. Just the two of us, building castles in the sky. Just the two of us, you and I. We look for love, no time for tears. Wasted water's all that is, and it don't make no flowers grow. Good things might come to those who wait, not for those who wait too late. We gotta go for all we know. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Oh, just the two of us. Building castles in the sky. Just the two of us. You and I. I see the crystal raindrops fall, and the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining through to make those rainbows in my mind. When I think of you sometime, and I wanna spend some time with you. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Just the two of us, building castles in the sky. Just the two of us, you and I. You and I.
I love it so much. It's so amazing.
So much fun to see you again. It's been a while.
I know.
So great.
We had so much fun. It was so fun to just play around in the living room space. And it was all by chance. Like the L-shaped couch, like all the we just
Yeah,
it
I
was
was
just stuff
ready
we
to
had.
cry in the beginning. I was like, "This is so. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Thank
It's
you.
so great, and you can just feel the love, between the two of you. It's so wonderful. Okay, so let's see. I feel like this could last forever because I still have so many questions. So we have about 5 minutes left. So I want to go back to the event on the 14th, remind everyone what to do. And after this is over, I'm definitely going to share for you and kind of articulate exactly what you need to do to get the link. But if you want to just tell us one more time what to expect and what we should do to get a ticket.
You want to take it, Abby?
Yeah. Sure. So yes, so this is a reimagining again of a show that we did last year to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall riots that gave birth to the gay Pride movement. And really, what we're doing is for Stonewall in and preserving it as a national historic landmark and with its threat to close because of COVID. So this really is all to save and preserve Stonewall. And like we mentioned before, most people don't realize that there is a second floor performance space, and as well as the bar on the first floor. So it is a home for many performing artists of all different genres to come together within the LGBTQ plus communities that are safe to express themselves. And we need spaces like this. So please come and donate and see the show. And the show is a fun show. So it's like we said it before, it's all about showing your true colors. It's celebrating life, it's celebrating diversity, it's celebrating all different kinds of personalities. We have hustle dancing, we have voguing, we have theater and jazz, we have an original range. We have singing. There's two an original song that Kristine actually wrote, and yes, and then there's an original arrangement by Greg and Joseph, who are in the show. So there's music, there's dance, there's dialogue, and all the dancers, all the performers have come together, out of the kindness of their heart to do this reimagining for Stonewall. So it's going to be a good time. I hope, and there'll be, there's gonna be a dance party right after.
Yes.
So I almost forgot to mention that. That's so important because in the original show we had DJ Jamal Regault, and he's also a New York City native and also a hustle dancer, big in the avid practitioner in the hustle community, and he will also be right after the show. We'll be having a Zoom dance party, which will be hosted by DJ Jamal, where he'll be playing fun disco funk tracks, and we'll all be dancing.
Yeah, when you make a donation through specifically the color is again, it's got to be through the color
in the ticker below for anyone who wants to.
Yeah. So that way we can see who donated. If the donations go to the other GoFundMe, we won't know who donated. So that's why it's the color is. We'll see who donated. You will get a link to the YouTube stream and also a link to the Zoom after party, which is going to be fun. We can all have cocktails and dance together after.
Sounds like so much fun. So I definitely will share that out after. So we have a couple more minutes. Let's do closing remarks. Anything you want to, any words of wisdom in this time of our tender time, as you mentioned, Abdiel, of people passing and way too soon and way before their time, in my opinion. Any closing words of wisdom from either one of you or both of you?
Like Abdiel was saying before, to not have connection as a partner dancer is very difficult. But what is happening right now is that with COVID, humans are social creatures by nature. We need connection. And I've been going on this journey personally of realizing how important it is to feel like you are connected. And so we feel it even stronger. So just continue to be there and for your people, your circle, your tribe, and don't be afraid to ask to reach out if you are feeling lonely and afraid, because I know I was going through that myself. And, until I actually put out my fear, I didn't realize, you know what you don't know, and you need to be reminded that there are people out there for us. Everyone, we have people. So don't be afraid to ask for connection. It's important as human beings.
Yeah.
I love that. And I totally have been trying myself to do exactly that. And sometimes, you just have to err on the side of checking in, even if maybe you checked in last week, but check in again. That's what I've been trying to do.
Yeah.
What about you, Abdiel? Anything you want to close us out with?
Just to continue with what Kristine was saying, with connection, also doing the things you enjoy. For both of us, this music and dance from the '70s era, disco and the culture around it, you know, that freedom and that exuberance and that just joy. There's just this pure ecstasy and joy in the music, in the dancing. And so for me personally, just connecting also with the things you love, like the practices you love, you know, that can help
Absolutely.
ground you, you know, through the hard times.
Absolutely.
Show your true colors. Be unafraid to express your true colors.
Exactly. And go buy some True Colors and drink it 'cause it's really good.
Yes. I have a bottle here sent from Christine all the way from New York.
Birthday last week.
I was at Stonewall yesterday and I didn't see the freezer, so I'm gonna check in and see if they're gonna order more. It's so delicious.
It's so good. It's
Yeah,
so good.
they sell the little ones. I think there's some in the downstairs cooler, but it's I'll check and see if they're gonna order more. 'Cause it's just so good. Well, you guys, I don't even know what to say. Thank you so much for coming on today, and I'm so happy that you did your show at Stonewall a year ago. When I got that email from you, and I don't remember who recommended you to email me, if it was Robbie maybe. But I'm so happy you did because there's a couple of us that do the same job there. And but Mike and I actually partnered to take care of you. So I think we tried to make sure you were really taken care of. But it was such a pleasure to meet you, and your show is amazing. So everyone, please donate. It doesn't matter if it's $1 or $5, $10, whatever you can. Get your name on that list so they can send you a link. I'm working that night, but I'm definitely gonna still donate in for this particular because, you know, why not? Because I'm gonna come to rehearsal anyway. Thank you for inviting me. And yeah, please donate and please support these two artists and all of their future endeavors. And before we go, do you want to tell everyone your socials so they can follow you?
My Instagram is K Bendul. That's BENDUL NY. K Bendul NY. That's my Instagram. And I'm Kristine Bendul. Kristine with a K. BENDUL on Facebook.
I'm writing it down. I'm not sure if we're on Instagram. We might be.
Oh, I don't. Well, are we? Oh, we will
We're on
be.
Facebook. We're on Facebook together.
We will.
Yeah. What's yours?
Oh, for me, my Instagram is Abdiel, ABDIEL, Cedric, CEDRIC. And then also Christine and I, we have a joint account on Instagram, which is Christine_Abdiel.
Got it.
So
Good.
we'll be posting on all of those for all of you.
Absolutely. So
as well as Facebook.
Please follow them, follow their careers and their amazing work. And I just hope that when you're back in New York, we're allowed to be open upstairs. I want you to make sure you email me and let's do another show.
We would be honored.
Freestyle. I don't care. We'll get your DJ in there and we'll do another show.
Okay.
Yay. We love that.
All right. Well, thank you so much again. And I'll be in touch about the show. And I just really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, Melissa.
The second one. Sorry for all the mistakes.
Oh, good.
No worries at all. No worries.
We're learning together.
We're all learning it together.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. I just adore them so much, and I'm so happy that they got to do the second one of the Original Artist Series, and also to promote their show that's going to happen August 14th. So tonight we just had the two guests, so we're going to close out. So next week I have a very, very dear friend of mine. His name is Mark Freeman, but he also is known as Lorraine Love. He also lives in LA, and his career has just blossomed over the years. So definitely tune in next week to check that out. And the week after, my friend Jamie Del Grosso is going to come on and talk about her amazing acting career, show you some highlights from her reel. And my favorite is her stint she did on ID Channel, because anyone that knows me knows that I'm a crime junkie and I have to watch all the crime shows. So we have more exciting guests coming your way. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for always supporting me and to the Stonewall and everything else. All right. Good night.